I'm proud to be Canadian, but I'm not Canada proud. We know the difference, right? Because I made a little video last night about Canadians booing at hockey games, and wow, are people galvanized. We are all pulling together. We are as one in Canada. And I put the flag in my bio so people would know that I'm Canadian, but it took me a while, took me a little bit. And that's not because I am not a lover of this country. I am Canadian. Every generation before me is Canadian. My family came to New France in the 1600s. That's a totally different conversation. But we've been here a long time. We also came to Newfoundland in the 1600s. Going back generations, we are a Canadian family. However, I live in a little place called Abbotsford, British Columbia. And when I look out my window right now, my neighbor has an F. Trudeau on their house with a Canada flag. And I live in a neighborhood with trucks that still drive around with those obnoxiously large Canada flags on them. I live in a place that celebrated all of the people who occupied Ottawa from many provinces over. So I just want to be very clear. I love Canada. I will fight for Canada. I believe in Canada. I am not Canada proud. I like the hashtag that people have been using, elbows up. I like true north, strong and free. I like, other things, but we just need to make sure, we aren't with an issue. We got some stuff going on. Just don't want to conflate those two things happening. But also, I would like for us to take this moment to remember that we have an election coming up. And you better believe that I vote Liberal because I live in a conservative stronghold. And the guy who's our current sitting MP, I went to high school with, and he's like a super evangelical, anti-abortion, anti-women, anti-vax, anti-everything person. And he's currently our MP. And I live in a place where they don't even usually run NDP or Green. They just run liberal conservative, because a lot of places in this country, they don't have a third option, really. So if we could just all remember this energy of supporting each other, that would be awesome. I personally don't know why people hated Trudeau so much, especially since, he's not perfect, but the reasons that I've been seeing are nonsense. And in the past 24 hours, I've been seeing people being like, finally, he's standing up to Trump. He did before. Finally, he's being masculine. He always has been. Finally, we're going to get into trade with other countries. We have had trade with other countries. He has, as I explained in the video, we have 15 trade agreements with 51 countries. We're fine. And they were mostly negotiated by Trudeau's cabinet. So he's been putting in the work. I know that you just hate him, but he's been here working even if you hate him. And he's also stood up to Iran, and he stood up to China, and he stood up to India. And he's, when people forget that the job of the prime minister is international relations first, and he does that real well. People love us. Have you seen the comments? The Australians love us, and the Kiwis love us, and the South Africans are ready to fight, and the British are ready to fight, and people are coming. The Germans, I've seen comments from all over the world supporting Canada. You know why? Because we have a good international relationships. And that's part of who we are individuals, but also it has to do with our government and what we do for other people around the world. So let's not forget that. And also let's not forget that Pierre Poilievre loves Trump. So we cannot vote him in at all. For the love of all things holy in this country, I would vote for the Bloc Québécois before I voted for them. And I have family who lived through the FLQ crisis. So that would be a big move for me personally. That's a whole other video. But yeah, let's just collect ourselves and remember that Mark Carney got us through the 2008 economic crisis that destroyed America's economy and personal finance and personal wealth and their housing market. We didn't have that. You know why we didn't have that? Mark Carney. So just wanted to take a little moment, say who I am, because I've seen a lot of new followers, and I love you for following me, but I just want to be very clear. Proud to be Canadian, not Canada proud, if you get me. Et aussi, pour tous les francophonies, ça fait longtemps que je parle français, mais je me souviens, je t'adore.